Before retiring in 2012, this lady, Helen Upperton, made her name on the ice piloting a bobsleigh for Canada. Now Helen is making headlines for a different mode of transportation. The 2010 Olympic silver medalist back home in Calgary after cycling through India for Doctors Without Borders. I was following all on social media. First of all, really nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. I'm glad to be back.
So let's start with this. How did you get involved with MSF or Doctors Without Borders?
It's kind of a crazy story, like one of those things that you feel like you met somebody for a reason. I was on a flight from Frankfurt to Toronto is when I was still competing, and I was sitting next to the international president of Doctors Without Borders. And that's the gentleman who's doing the bike ride. His term finished as the international president, and we stayed in touch for 2 years. He was a fascinating person and really passionate about the organization, which is an incredible organization.
Right.
And so he called in September and said, my term's up. I've had this dream of riding across India to raise awareness and to kind of reconnect with the country where he sort of grew up. And he said, do you want to join me? People are joining me along the way. As if I would say no.
Right, well, and it's hard to not get on board with what they do.
Right.
It's an incredible organization. Okay, so this took shape, and you went.
I did.
And tell us what we're looking at.
Oh man! So these photos are actually by a Canadian Indian of Indian origin. He's a photographer, and Sammy. He took all these pictures. He was with us for the trip, but. Yeah, we rode over 230 kilometers through all these villages, met all these amazing people, and Dr. Uni would stop and do lectures and presentations, screen some of the MSF films in some of the towns. We met, I went to Mumbai actually after the riding, and I saw the MSF clinic in action, some of their patient outreach in the slums. This was an amazing 18-year-old girl that we met who's trying to get better from a very drug-resistant strain of tuberculosis, which is a huge problem in Mumbai and in a few other big cities around the world. So it was amazing. The people were wonderful, and the country's beautiful. And the more I learn about what MSF does, the more I want to be involved and to help. I said in like my blog that when you're an athlete, you spend all these years just thinking about yourself, and all these people are around you trying to help you accomplish a goal, and it feels really good to think about other people, you know? So I've been fundraising, and I haven't reached my goal yet.
Okay, what is your goal?
My goal is $14,600, which seems like a very random amount, but it actually, it's a very important number. It equates to $1 for every pill it takes to cure a person with multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. So they take over 20 pills a day for 2 years. So they need their fundraising for research, better diagnostic tools, and improved medicine, because it's an impossible situation for a lot of these people. So I'm raising $14,600. I'm only at halfway, and you know Olympic athletes, when they set a goal,
right,
they gotta reach it. So I need some help.
So so how do we donate? How do we do that?
So Canada has a very active like branch of MSF. They're based in Toronto, and the people there are amazing. And I'm fundraising through the MSF Canada website. So you can go to msf.ca, and there's a link there to my fundraising page, and you can donate like $10, $20. You get a tax receipt. I'm adamant about reaching this goal.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
And speaking of making it happen, well, this is a very busy first part of 2014 for you. You're retired from bobsleigh, but now you're heading over to Sochi working as an analyst. And so, first of all, what are you looking forward to at Sochi, and what are you expecting? Have you been there?
Yeah, we were there last February. I was helping coach at the test event. They have to host an international World Cup a year before the games. It was an interesting place. A lot of the venues weren't done, and obviously they're making progress and they'll be ready. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be there again. It's weird to not be competing. You know, it's my first non-competition Olympics, I guess you could say. So it's going to be a bit different, but I'm really glad I get to be there to share the sport and the stories of the athletes with Canadians who are back home watching on TV. So, and we have an amazing team heading to the Olympics. So
now a Canadian frontrunner also happens to be your boyfriend. Talking about Jesse Lumsden, former football player, now a key component on the bobsleigh team. How are you going to be able to sort of maintain your neutrality while talking about him?
Do you know, it's like, well, you have a professional job to do, so you do the job and you try to call a fair race and be honest. I'm pretty bluntly honest, brutally honest with these guys when they make mistakes in the track and stuff, but they're all my friends and former teammates. And even when we were doing the training for the broadcast, we were in Toronto doing the training, and they said, you can't say our team anymore. They're the team. And I was like, oh gosh, it's like a small, you know, subconscious thing that you don't even think about. They're not my team anymore. They're the Canadian team.
Okay, but you can say that while you're here. How is our team looking
so
in a sliding sport?
Our team is looking amazing. There's been all kinds of really interesting things happening this year. Kaylee's obviously been dominant as usual in women's bobsleigh. Jenny Cicchetti's qualified as a pilot for her first game. She used to be my brakeman. And for the first time in history, Canada's qualified 3 men's teams in 2 men and 4 men.
Wow.
Justin
That's
Cripps
huge.
was the pilot for Canada 3, and he's had an amazing season. So we have 3 really great men's teams heading to the Olympics, and then skeleton obviously is always athletes in contention. So it's going to be really exciting, and I'm excited to catch up with all of them now. The season's kind of wrapping up. They have 1 more World Cup, then they've got a couple, I guess, like almost 2 weeks off, and then it's go time.
Go time. It's going to be a wild one. Go Canada, go. And you are an awesome analyst, so I'm really excited to be able to see you, hear your voice on these broadcasts coming out of Sochi. Helen, really nice to see you, and we'll put those links up so you can donate to Médecins Sans Frontières.